How's it going, guys, and welcome back. In this video we're going to quickly be checking out some tips and tricks to help you take out Shiva in Final Fantasy VII Remake. So the first chance you're most likely going to have to fight against Shiva is going to be here in Chapter 8 by speaking with Chadley and choosing to face the VR version of Shiva herself. So the first and most obvious thing I will mention is that when you first get the chance to face Shiva is when you're exploring the slums alone with Cloud. I would recommend coming back a little bit later on in the chapter once Aerith rejoins the party, at least this way you have two party members instead of just the one. Now the most important tip, the thing that's going to make all of the difference, is make sure that you have your Elemental Materia equipped under an armor piece that's actually linked up with another materia slot. And in the other materia slot you're going to make sure you're using an Ice Materia. Very quickly, for those of you who didn't play the original Final Fantasy VII, to know if they're linked up, simply look out for this line connecting the two empty materia spaces. And by having the Elemental Materia linked up with the Ice Materia under the armor slot, this will take half damage by any attack dealt by that element. So in this case, obviously we're going to be using Ice, because all of Shiva's attacks are pretty much Ice. Now if you are doing this later on in the game and you have another Elemental Materia to spare, you could also do the same in your weapon slot and link it with a Fire Materia. This way all of your attacks will deal fire damage, doing a lot more damage to Shiva herself. But if you are still in Chapter 8, I would recommend using it defensively more so than offensively, if not you're not going to survive very long. Now most likely at this point in the game, you've already leveled up at least one of your fire materials to level 2, meaning you should have access to the Fira spell. This is going to deal massive damage to Shiva. Now my preference is to have this equipped on the Cloud, so Aerith's main job during this fight is going to be to use her Arcane Wind ability over Cloud, meaning that this will cast a circle below Cloud, and every time he casts a spell, it will cast it 2 times instead of just the once. So this means while we're inside the circle of Arcane Wind and we cast Fira, we can actually cast it twice, which is going to be really helpful for this fight. If you've been exploring a little bit, you should also have at least 2 Talismans by this point in the game, which I would recommend equipping one onto each of your characters. Now a few other things I would definitely recommend for this fight, which I completely didn't do just because we went in a little bit too overconfident, is try to go into the fight with at least a couple of Phoenix Downs, and or have the Revive Materia equipped to someone. Also, make sure you have the Ifrit summon equipped on the Cloud. This way, about halfway through the fight, you should usually get the chance to summon Ifrit in, which is obviously dealing fire damage, which is great for this fight. So that's pretty much all there is to it. It becomes a pretty easy fight if you follow these steps, even if you're relatively low level. Unfortunately here in the gameplay in the background, we do get a bit carried away and we forget to heal when she does this sort of cutscene cinematic attack, which I completely didn't see coming. Completely wiped the floor with Aerith, and we had like no Phoenix Downs going into this fight, so we didn't really get a chance to revive her, and it got a little bit messy, but just ignoring that. Hopefully this video did help you out, guys. If you did, don't forget that thumbs up button, subscribe for more content coming very soon, and we'll see you next time.
Outstanding! The Shiva summoning materia is